opinion, it's a great looking skill which can be used in lots of different ways. You can use it in combos, you can use it as a setup, and you can also use it to learn lots of different skills. So let's get started. The first step is making sure you have a really good cartwheel on both sides. Alright, moving on to step 2, we have axe to opposite side cartwheel. So all you got to do, in your opposite side cartwheel stance, kick your back leg down into opposite side cartwheel. Stage 3, we're going to add the spin step. So you start facing as if you're about to do a normal cartwheel, half turn, another half turn, and then into your axe to opposite side cartwheel. At this point, you should have a basic version of a Gumbi. With this Gumbi, maybe you can start using it in some combos, doing a couple skills from it, but it's not going to give you the most power. So here are some things that can give you a super powerful Gumbi so you can use it to get your next big power trick. I'd say the biggest thing that I see go wrong in a lot of people's Gumbis is the hand placement. So in a Gumbi, the basic version that we have now, your hands come down the same as your opposite side cartwheel. But your hands actually need to come all the way across your body, and then your second hand wants to reach over your head, so your hands are going to come down like a kick over. I think using a line to try and get this step right is really helpful. You want your takeoff foot on the line, your first hand needs to reach way across your body and forwards a lot, and then your second hand comes back onto the line, your landing foot also lands on the line. This is why it's such a good step for a TDR. It's got the same foot and hand placement, just without that first hand. One thing that helps me improve my hand placement is to try and think of my spin step. If I'm coming towards you, then this foot isn't going to be swinging down straight, it's going to be swinging slightly diagonal, so from here across my body, and that motion kind of reaches my hands across and opens my hips. And that's gonna really help to get the right hand placement, foot placement, and get a nice arch in your back so you can snap your feet into the floor and get lots of power out of it. Another way you can get more power from your Gumbi is by optimizing the spin step. For some of the bigger skills like triple cork out of a Gumbi, you're gonna have to put in a certain amount of speed. Say you've got 60% control, but you've got 100% power. That's what you need for the bigger skills. If you have 100% control, you're not going to be maximizing your power, so you kind of have to sacrifice a little bit and get that power, give it a few tries. It's not necessarily going to be consistent, but at least you'll learn. In your spin, you have a hop, take your first step. From here, you want to do a big hop, almost like a hurdle step into a round-off or a cartwheel. And that step, bringing the distance in, takes away the most amount of control, but adds in the most amount of power. So the longer you can make that step and still be leaning forwards, still get a smooth Gumbi out of it, the more power you're going to have. The second thing that adds power to your Gumbi spin step is lifting up your swing leg even higher. If your leg's this high, then you can only swing it down a certain amount, but if you can get that leg really high, you're going to absolutely fly into that Gumbi. The faster your Gumbi is, the further it is, the better of a setup it is, and the more power you're going to get out of it. For this stage, it's really important that you practice a lot of skills out of your Gumbi. Practice a wide range of skills. Maybe work on gainer flash or cork just to see how much height you can get out of it. Gainer switch to see how straight you can get it. All of these skills are going to take away the power so you can maximize the power you put in. If you just do a dry swing, then you'll be flying up in the air and you're going to hold back. You won't be able to put the maximum amount of power in. So just absolutely slam it into the fattest gainer flash you can. Make it look really nice. Gumbi is a really good base progression for so many front swings. So here are some ways that you can use it to get those skills or improve those skills. For a raise or a touchdown raise, you're going to do something called a jump Gumbi. Basically, all you have to do is jump and put your hands down a little bit later. As you can see in my jump Gumbi, my hands are coming down after the twist. This means most of the weight is on my left hand which is my touchdown raise hand. So all I have to do is do a jump Gumbi, not put my first hand down, and it's going to be a front swing touchdown raise. And if you want to turn your jump Gumbi into a raise, then all you have to do is swing your leg a bit harder, drive your chest up a little bit, and not put your hands down, and that's going to turn it into a front swing raise. I think Gumbi is such an underrated way of learning touchdown raise and raise, because a Gumbi is super inverted, and a perfect TDR or raise is also super inverted, especially if you're doing swings out of it. If you want to do tack, you need a bit more around the side, so I wouldn't use this version of a TDR for a tack skill. But for a swing, best TDR in my opinion is Fuji. He's got the best quad cork out of it, and his is super, super inverted. One thing that helps you use 100% of the power coming out of the setup is making sure you're on balance when you come out. So you don't have to necessarily be here, but if you're here, you're balanced. If you're here and you're falling, then it's going to make it a lot harder to maximize the power. You're going to have to use some of your strength to stay on that balance point, and that's wasted energy that you could be using to jump higher or twist faster. If you want to use this method to learn a side swipe, then I recommend using a jump hyper Gumbi. So all you have to do is a jump Gumbi, but land on your right leg, and then go through the same progression as a raise to get your side swipe. This probably isn't what you want to hear if you suck at Gumbi, but one of the main reasons that so many people are bad at Gumbi is because they're really unflexible. So if your shoulder flexibility looks like this, you're really going to struggle with a Gumbi. You want to try and get this position where you can get your chest to the floor, maybe even the version with your elbows down, and that is going to help so much with your Gumbi, so you can open right up and get a nice position, keep it smooth, and get a really good snap down on the landing. Another really good mobility skill to work on is something called a bridge roll. There's two versions. This is the easier version. Put one hand down, reach over your head into a bridge, and then all the way over. Make sure you practice it on both sides. And then you can also do the more advanced version of a bridge roll where you do it with both feet. It is quite difficult. It took me a while to get it, even after I landed Gumbi triple cork. So definitely something to work on there. While we're on the subject of bridge progressions, super important that you get a great kickover if you really want to maximize that Gumbi power. The landing of a Gumbi is exactly the same position as a kickover. So kickover, you can do it either side, or for me, I work on both sides. Another place that it really helps to have good flexibility is in your hips and in your hamstrings. So your splits, your box split, your lunges, a lot of those things add to your Gumbi. But I would say the most important part and the most slept on part is the shoulder flexibility. So make sure you work on that the most if you want a really good Gumbi. All right, that's all I have for today. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you want to see any other tutorials, then leave some ideas in the comments. If there's something you think I missed, then let me know. And if you want to send me some clips on Instagram, I'll leave a link in the description. See you in the next one.